I don't think there's a character on the Andy Griffith Show that has more of a cult following than Howard McNear or Floyd the Barber. There was never a more comfortable place in Mayberry to relax and spread gossip than Floyd's barber shop. The presence of Floyd Lawson himself was part of the appeal. Howard McNear brought that character to life. He was as warm and as comforting as a hot towel on your face. There was nobody that was loved any more than Howard McNear on the show. It wasn't just the audience that cared so much for the character. It was the people that actually acted with him that just loved him dearly. But there was a whole lot more to Howard McNear than what you see on the Andy Griffith Show. Let's take a look. He was born in Los Angeles, and he studied at the Oatman School of Theater. And then he later joined a stock company in San Diego. He worked in radio from the late 30s, and he distinguished himself from 1937 to 1940 in the radio series Speed Gibson of the International Secret Police. He was ace operator Clint Barlow. He was very effective in these authoritative roles, but then he started gravitating towards more character roles, and they were often comedic. In 1942, he enlisted as a private in the United States Army Air Corps. Once World War II was over, he jumped headfirst into his acting career. He returned to the airwaves with a key role on Gunsmoke. Now, this was Gunsmoke, the radio show, not the TV show yet. He originated the role of Doc Charles Adams. He played this role from 1952 to 1961 in the radio version. He was under contract with CBS for many years and was featured in many of the network's radio and TV programs. Just the other day, I was driving and I had on the Sirius XM radio on the oldie radio channel, and I was listening to an episode of Yours Truly, Johnny Dollar. And Howard McNear actually played a guy that was living in a hotel in 5 episodes of this. It was really neat to hear Floyd the Barber's voice on this old radio show. Howard made his film debut in an uncredited role in 1953 in a film called Escape from Fort Bravo. Radio made him a Wild West doctor, but television solidified his status as a barber. Howard didn't cut his first head of hair in the town of Mayberry. In 1958, 2 years before he joined the Andy Griffith Show, he played a barber on Leave It to Beaver in the episode called The Shave. Wally takes a step into manhood and starts shaving, and Howard's character is there to help him. The crazy thing about this episode is that Howard's character name is called Andy. And we also have to remember that Howard was the second actor to play Floyd the Barber on the Andy Griffith Show. The first actor was Walter Baldwin. In 1961, he was cast as that vague, chatty barber, Floyd Lawson, on the Andy Griffith Show. During the show's run, he suffered a stroke that rendered the left side of his body nearly paralyzed. He left the series for nearly a year and a half to recover. Andy Griffith personally asked him to return to the series, and McNear agreed despite being unable to walk or stand. And the production crew made all sorts of accommodations to help him. Floyd is usually seen on screen either seated or standing with support. They actually built a bench that he could lean back against when he was standing. Many of the scenes were shot with him sitting on a bench outside the barber shop, as opposed to trimming hair like he was before. In most of his post-stroke scenes, his left hand would be holding a newspaper or resting in his lap while he moved the right arm and hand as he spoke his lines. In the 1964 episode titled Otis Sues the County, and in the 1967 episode Goober's Contest, His character is heard but not seen walking into the courthouse. The very next scene shows him seated in a chair. As time went on, he started having difficulty remembering his lines, and this made him become anxious and frustrated. He finally left the series in 1967. Don Knotts often said that Floyd's character on the Andy Griffith Show was not very far from the way his real personality was to start with. And this is just the opposite of the way Don Knotts was in his portrayal of Barney Fife. They were two opposite characters. Don was laid back and relaxed, and Barney Fife was high-strung and sensitive. In his film work, he often played congressmen, hotel managers, or figures like that. But he did occasionally play a villain. Now that seems like a stretch for me, if you're an Andy Griffith fan. He actually did quite a bit of voice acting, too. He was a voice in the Flintstones of the Doctor in quite a few episodes. And if you look for him real closely, you will see him in a lot of episodic television shows. Things like The Many Loves of Dobie Gillis, The Twilight Zone. He was also in The Real McCoys. Howard amassed quite a list of credits during his entire career. On January 3rd, 1969, Howard died of complications from pneumonia that were caused by another stroke at San Fernando Valley Veterans Hospital in Selmar, California. He's interred in the Los Angeles National Cemetery. Now, he was good buddies with Mayor Stoner from Mayberry, and that was played by actor Parley Bear. They first met and became friends on the TV show Gunsmoke, and their friendship continued on the Andy Griffith Show. When Howard passed away, it was his old friend that did the eulogy at the funeral. Thank you so very much, Howard McNear, for all the laughs that you gave us and still give us on the Andy Griffith Show. And I know you're still probably trying to figure out what Calvin Coolidge said. Rest in peace, my friend. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll keep chasing the classics.